Ugh, everything is awful. Okay, we're trying again. I'm guessing that's you in here, Nikki? Hi, babe. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me, sweetheart? Yay, I have my mic on. I had to switch to my phone. I was doing... Did you see that? Probably didn't see that, right? Okay. Okay. At least it's just you. Oh my God. Oh, geez. Okay. So, I'm trying to get this organized. So my receiver is magnetic, but it like refuses to be magnetic right now. It just wants to hang out and I'm ruining everything. So I really wanted to stream with the StreamYards on my laptop. That just did not work. Plan B. Okay. Okay, welcome. Hi. Sorry for the massive failure 2 seconds ago, but to be fair, I popped on live early so that all my massive failures would only be observed by Nikki. And yes, success. Look, babe, I picked my Texas cup. I don't know yet. So I couldn't tell. It's a new laptop and I couldn't tell if it was the mic that wasn't working. You said it was breaking up a lot. I'm not really sure what went wrong there. But I was hoping to use it. I guess it just didn't work. So, got to get the jitters down. I'm like so anxious and nervous, but I think if I just plow through it, it will be a little bit better. So we'll get that done. Okay, hey you guys, you have to say something or I won't know you're there and it's gonna be really awkward. I hope I saw Debbie in the last live before everything went downhill. And I hope that she made it over to this one too, so I could say hi to her. Ew, peppermint tea, gross. I really don't like anything mint. It just reminds me of toothpaste and like I'm eating toothpaste. Lots of things are good for you that are gross though. Doesn't mean I have to like it. Toothpaste tea. I hate it during Christmas when everybody's like, ooh, mint mocha. I'm like, ooh, chocolate toothpaste. Hate that. So, okay. So I chose my bedroom because I have family living in my home, which is ridiculous. And I didn't want to disrupt their Sunday while I practiced being a live stream human. Ew, chocolate toothpaste is not yum. They do. My kids, like, they insist from birth on, they're just gonna be here, being in our home, in their pajamas on a Sunday. I need them to get jobs. Like, I asked, and I guess you have to be 16 to have a job, but Calvin's 11, that's almost 16. He can get a job, go do something. So, anyways, okay, I'm still trying to get my jitters to come down, trying to think how I can be interesting and creative and everything like that on live. I considered doing like a tidy clean and talking to you guys and cleaning, but that didn't feel like it was going to be very functional. I did it that one time and it was really hard, but I also, it would be hard to do it around my family, and I don't want to disturb them. I do love them deeply, and I don't want to disturb them. So I scrapped that idea, thought we could do like a coffee chat thing. Um, but yeah, I just feel a little ill prepared. Like I don't really know how to do this. And so I figured I would just rip the band-aid. I remember, I started actually producing YouTube videos last November. My first one went up on Halloween, which is weird because I don't remember it being Halloween. Um, but then after that, it was Christmas time and people were doing Vlogmas a lot. And I thought, okay, I'm terrible on camera and I struggle with seeing beyond the camera, seeing you beyond the camera and talking to you. So I did my 10 minutes of tidy where it was a 10-minute unbroken stream and I would tidy and talk. And I really do feel like that gave me the, not gave me the skill, it gave me practice. And it helped me get over the hurdle of feeling weird while cleaning and talking. And so I'm going to try the same thing with live streams a little bit here and there to see if they are useful. It does, you can look on your back end analytics and you can see what people like. Hi, Lori from North Carolina. I love that you said hi. That makes me feel so good. um, so what I was saying is that I can tell on the back end that some people do like live streams and they would watch it. And so if it is something that you guys actually enjoy, then I should practice to be better at it so that, I can hopefully provide something of value, or this will crash and burn terribly. And it turns out you guys absolutely can't stand live streams. And then I know where to shift my focus to and pour my efforts into that zone over there. So I don't know. That's what I'm doing. Just Karen from Lebanon, Tennessee. Hi, Karen. How are you? Hey, Cindy. Look at people saying hi. I cannot believe it. That's so exciting. What are you guys up to today? I just, I could have been productive all day, but I chose to do my productivity over here. And I really wanted to talk with you guys. I have been thinking so much about everybody and how supportive and amazing everybody is in the comments. But it's so hard to have a conversation because you're just like, come back to it several hours later when you catch it. And then you're like, oh, yes. And then you write your response. And then a couple hours later, someone else writes their response. And I thought, this would be a slightly easier way to get to know you guys a little bit better and talk to you more. So what's up? What's on our minds? What are we drinking? Cindy, where are you watching us from? Where are you coming in from? We have North Carolina, we have Tennessee, we have Texas. I'm Georgia. So, oh my God, it just occurred to me. My mic is super close to me. Can you guys hear me swallowing? Like, is it disgusting? Ooh, Florida. I was just in Florida. I went to IKEA. Can you guys hear me swallowing? Gross. I can hear my kids out there. Okay, so let's think. Oh, good. Thanks, Nikki. Good. Then I'll just keep drinking my coffee and just trying to. Jill from Phoenix, Arizona. I bet it's so hot. Ew. And I guess a huge storm's coming, so maybe it'll break it up a little bit for us, but that's. Do you guys watch Ryan Hall, y'all, for weather? I absolutely adore him. And I was just watching him give a brief overview, but mostly I'm like, is it my area? No? Okay, then I'll ignore it. Church online, and hang out with your puppy. How can you stand to keep your AC so warm? Oh my gosh. I can because the absolute horror of being hit with that first electric bill last summer, I was just like, what happened? And I know some people who, granted, have a very low mortgage, but their electric bill was higher than their mortgage payments like deep in the summer. And so it's, I'm practicing. It's hard. I knocked it down to 75 so I can feel the cool air because I knew I was going to get a little bit sweaty and ugh. Um, but I don't know. It's just, I'm trying to build resistance. And when it gets muggy in the house, I kick it down. And once I feel like the air is a little bit drier, I bump it back up. And I just play this game where I'm constantly trying to shift my air conditioning warmer. Your hubby is your weather guy? Ask all the time. I will start updating you, Nikki, if you need to. I constantly check the weather where you're at as well. I just like to know if my loved ones are going to be hit by a tornado or something. And like, I'm constantly worried you're going to get hit by a tornado. 97 yesterday, only 88 today. Yeah. Isn't that weird how like the shift goes down? 67. Oh, I would like, I just, if I win the lottery, my house will be so cold all of the time. But it's just, it makes me so mad that they increase how expensive electricity is when we need it more. And I know it's to condition us to use less, and I'm falling right into that trap, but like, come on. Jill, you have an electric plan where the bill is the same all year long and it's average throughout the year. I have the option to do that. I haven't lived here long enough where they'll let me. I should check this year, but last year I asked about that. That's in North Dakota. It's the same but opposite. Like winters are really expensive because you're using so much heat. And so you can have it stabilized. And I did that in North Dakota and I called here and they're like, oh, you haven't lived here long enough. So I just had to like suck it up last year. But I thank you for reminding me. I am going to call and see if I can get that stabilized. 72. That's the dream. You'll be 67 in July. That's exciting. I love that for you. It would be nice to be constant no spread. It would be nice. And then you can actually plan a little bit better. And um, I just keep like trying to set myself where I'm like doing a budget and I'll do something really good. Like, for example, I called around and I changed all of our insurance and our house insurance. I got over the year, it's $1,000 less. And so I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I didn't realize that I had just timed it where they had just paid the escrow to this insurance company and then had to pay the escrow to this insurance company and like completely screwed myself over to where my escrow was completely depleted. And they had to like readjust it for the year. And I increased my mortgage payment by like $500 a month. And I was like, oh, that kind of completely defeated the purpose. And yeah, I was so annoyed with that, but I managed. Finally, I got the check back from the old insurance company and was able to push it over. But I was just like, that was the exact opposite of what I'm trying to do with my life. I am trying to budget better, and I just swept the rug out from underneath me. You'll get a check at the end of the year. I actually got it right away from the old company and transitioned it over, and then a little bit of our tax return went over to it. So we should be filled, like our escrow should be filled up, and hopefully our mortgage payments will go back down to reasonable. So, which was a weird story. So that's the story of my insurance bill, guys. Sorry. Did it drop your pay? I don't know. It's this month. I'll have to check. It should. But it would be this coming payment that would have the actual escrow built in. But I didn't know that. It's those weird things that we don't actually learn until you're in the thick of it as an adult of like, this is what happens when you shop around for house insurance. I just never did it before. And so lessons learned. So yeah. Nikki, you just have to let me know. If I swallow my coffee and you guys can hear it, I will absolutely give up coffee for the rest of my life. That'll be so embarrassing. Okay, what else, everybody? I can just tell random stories until I get some other comments or like my mortgage company. We've asked it once a year only. Really hoping yours goes. I would love for yours to go down. I remember when my kids were younger and I loved getting the thick of cleaning the rooms. My daughter was the worst. Man, let me tell you, Karen, I am going to do the twins room coming up. I started it. And I became overwhelmed on their behalf that there's just absolutely no storage in there. And one of their dressers is kind of broken. And it's like it would be a really good dresser for a toddler, how shallow and narrow the drawers are. And so I was like, okay, I'll just pop down to IKEA. And then like that whole day got away from me, so I haven't done it yet, but I am so excited. It's like the one room we're still ignoring after moving in. They still had, until recently, we had boxes in their closet that we were just like, oh, we'll go through it later. And so like we just never really set their room after moving in. We never really had it for them. And so I'm going to do that for them. And then they'll have a clean slate to stay on top of. And that's my hope going forward. On our property tax, if we had a fourth kid, we get a sweet 40% discount. I'm telling you, have that baby. 40% off. You can't pass that up. I really want you to have that baby. Do that. I've been a house cleaner for 25 years after working a while. That way I could be with them and be the sport mom. I miss it so much. That's so sweet. I love that. How many pets do you have? I have 6. It's a lot. We have 3 dogs and 3 cats. We were a 5-pet family until I found Sweet Potato. She was in a car engine and she was like 10 days old and she like fit in my little hands and I brought her home and my husband was so pissed. He was just like, what? And I was like, no, we'll just foster her. We'll foster her and don't worry about it. And he's like, I know that cat's ours forever. And she is, and I love her so much. We have a Rottweiler Beauty. She's quite old. She's 9. And Rottweilers live to be 8 to 10 years old. Then we have Kesha. She's actually sleeping right over here. She's from 2017 was when she was born. And then Leroy, he's rotten. He's the worst dog ever, but he is still a puppy. He's just over a year old. Hi, everyone from New York. Hi, Mona. Welcome. Super excited to see you. And super excited to have not New York City. I'm sorry. I bet that's so annoying to have everybody assume it's the city when New York's a full-blown state that has its own stuff. Yeah, so those are my dogs. And then Sammy and Sonia really, really love cats. They're super into them. But Sammy, she needed something. She just did. And she needed something that she could pour all of her love and focus and cuddle and all of that. It's just like an emotional support cat, but in such a truly bonded way. So we got her hot sauce and I deliberately ignored hot sauce and didn't really interact with this cat. And I constantly was like, Sammy, and that it created such a strong bond between the two. And he loves her so much and she loves him so much. Probably it goes hot sauce, her cat, and then the rest of the family in terms of who she would save in a fire. She loves hot sauce so much, and I'm so grateful for that. Your cat's name is Sammy? I'm going to tell my Sammy that, Jill, and she's going to be so thrilled. And will probably think that you deliberately named your cat after my daughter. South of Buffalo, New York, the southern tier. It's a very small village, Silver Creek, New York. I love that. We were just driving through New York, but it was just skirting the corner to get into Maine and everything. But I have driven through the middle of New York and I loved it, but I was baffled by the amount of tolls that you guys have. It was like every 12 seconds there was a toll. And I actually stayed over in a really, really cute farm. I can't remember what town it was near, but it was really small and I loved it. And we camped there. And I really enjoyed that. My puppy's named Sammy. Dang, everybody's loving the Sammys here. Karen says, I do. Most people are so appreciative. In 25 years, I only turned away 2 houses from filth, and the rest are normal. Young moms are most appreciative. Okay, so we've seen my house. Well, most of you have seen my house, and some of you may have just accidentally stumbled in here, and I love you. Hi, welcome. Okay, so I have shown you guys the worst of my house that it's been in Georgia, but I'm actively cleaning my house and it's getting really, really messy, right? So when I was in Oregon, I was in the worst I've ever been. Like if I wore my watch, it would say over the day, maybe 3,000 steps, maybe, because I am just sitting in my depression chair, doom scrolling, doing absolutely nothing. Like I was so depressed and broken and it was just awful. It was one of the worst moments, right? And I had so much shame about my home and I couldn't clean it and I was so ashamed of it. And finally I reached out to somebody and she came in and I was just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. And like I'm showing her the different spaces and I'm just like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, no, I could do this. I can see myself cleaning your home. I can do this. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, can you not take pictures of my home and post it on social media? And she's like, I wouldn't do that. I was like, okay, I just have this idea that to advertise your business like you would do it somehow. And she assured me she wouldn't. She came in with 4 other women and they cleaned my house for 10 hours. I mean, they were doing every tiny little thing and it was amazing. And my house looked amazing. And they did like all of it. It was the most deep clean, but it also was organizing and it was everything. And then I thought, it took these women each 10 hours, and that would have been 50 hours of me trying to dedicate with nobody else coming and messing up, us not living in our home during it. Like it would have taken me over a solid work week to pull myself out of that hole. And it's so embarrassing, but it felt so good to myself saying, okay, I needed the help. I'm so grateful I got this help because I never would have gotten onto the other side by myself. I am proud of myself. And so we had her come every other week and that was when my house was at its best shape. And then we moved here and I'm trying to not be that person again. And so that's why I'm cleaning on here because I know how bad it can get. And people are one of my videos is weirdly getting so many views right now. And so I'm getting a lot of people being like, I don't understand it. I could never. How can you? Why don't you just tidy a little bit? And I'm like, this is an improvement, guys. Like this is me being better. And I love that for me. And I know where I could be and I'm not there. And so I don't know. It's just like I all of that to say, I deeply loved Lorena for not judging me and for being so amazing and supportive, for her kindness when she came in. She wasn't like, Jesus Christ, woman. She was just like, I think I can do this with you. And she did. And it was such a blessing. So women like you who are able to go into people's homes and see how bad it can get, but like with love and compassion, it's such a blessing. It was such an amazing blessing. She was basically an angel who came down and helped me. And I know you were that for other people as well. Okay. I'm gonna scroll back up. Sorry, 3 ladies shouldn't take 8 hours, maybe at least 6 hours. No, it was bad, Mona. Like, they legit were working their tails off. They were not, because it was a set rate. Like, I will pay this much. It was not hourly. So those women were, it was it was so bad. Um, I don't care how messy it looks, still beautiful. Thank you, Lori. I really appreciate that. I am so blessed. I have such a beautiful home. And I am so grateful for it. And I'm trying to honor that. One little step at a time. Depression is so hard. Forget the trolls. People are quick to judge without knowing what someone's going through. And I think it feels good for them to lash out. I think it makes them feel slightly better to be mean to somebody. And that's fine. I have very thick skin, but I have a lot of pride. So you can damage my pride so much faster than you can damage my feelings. And I'm working on that too. Like, having so much pride is not the greatest. No filth, no hoarders. I'm not going to do filth. I lived in a regular home with clutter and dirt and doggy stuff. The dirtiest seemed to be the pickiest. And I like to think that mine wasn't dirt. Like, it wasn't filth. It was overwhelming clutter and stuff. Okay, so another terrible thing, I guess. Another sign of it was I would order in groceries, COVID, right? I would order in groceries, but then I wouldn't unpack the groceries. I would leave the bags on my counter, and if it needed to be refrigerated, that would go in. But like, then if I needed to use the item, I'd pull it out of the bag. Otherwise, like, a bag with tortillas in it and, like, I don't know, a can of soup could sit on my counter for weeks. Sometimes I'd be like, oh crap, like, here's this thing that was going to expire that I left on my counter for 5 days. And like, this cream cheese is clearly not going to be something I consume anymore. But I couldn't even get that step. I couldn't even unpack the groceries I ordered. And it was something that you don't really see how awful it is until you can reflect back on it. At the time, I was just like, whatever, would wander off. Mhm. Okay. I did get more than a cleanup, Nikki. It was so clean, so organized. Like, even inside the bins of things, those things would be organized. Beth, your home is a normal lived-in home, no filth, and sometimes a mom just needs a reset. And I love knowing my moms are tickled when they walk in the door. Karen, they were. They probably they probably were texting their friends like, "Oh my God, I'm so grateful right now. I'm too hard on myself, honey. We all love you and care about you." Thank you, Cindy. I like I'm not trying to be hard on myself. I'm just trying to, like, be so vulnerable for anyone else who's feeling this way too, who is kind of in this zone. I feel like if I can admit, like, hey, there was a time in my life when I didn't put away groceries for a year, or things like that. I feel like other people can see it in themselves. Does that make sense? Like, if it's your normal, it doesn't feel bad. But if somebody comes up and say, hey, I had this exact normal and I wasn't okay, but I got help for it, then maybe it could help somebody else be like, oh, okay, I can, maybe I should reflect on this and get help. I don't know. It takes me at least 2 weeks to clean my place. I'm not young like I used to be. Housekeeping messed up my back. Mona, I bet it did. That is hard work. That is such hard work. What does Tradwife mean? Okay, so Tradwife is traditional wife, like where you have the traditional roles where the wife stays at home and, like, cooks and cleans and takes care of the kids, and the husband's the provider and stuff like that. And it's just got this, if you look up, there are some really funny TikToks of women tradwifing where they get, like, full blown into, like, the 50s get up and stuff, and they're like cosplaying a marriage. And I am I didn't think I was like that. It just seemed like such a negative, it can be used as a kind of a derogatory slur. where you're like, oh, Tradwife, she just wants to not vote and have her husband like is this domineering force in her life, and she doesn't have a career and stuff. And one day my husband was on the couch scrolling, and he was like, oh, have you heard of the term Tradwife? And I was like, oh my God, yes. No, thank you, sir. I am not that. But like, I was rendering lard in the kitchen that I, in the home my husband got me while homeschooling my kids, and like I have at work since having babies. And I was like, oh, I'm a version of that, but I'm absolutely feral at the same time. And so we always talk about how my kids are feral and how wild we tend to be. And I just do what I feel like so often, where I'm just like, okay, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go on a trip. I'll see you when I get back and stuff like that. And so it was the marriage of those two really weird worlds. And where I guess we are traditional, but it's not that negative, ugly thing that you see online a lot. I kind of wanted to pivot how that looked. Okay. Rose, hi, welcome. It is, I do love living in a lived-in house instead of, worrying about it. I hope to get to where like it's just baseline lived in and I don't let myself get overwhelmed. I don't want to backslide. It's hard work. I'm going to fall apart any day. I'm 58. It's getting harder and harder. When I was first divorced, I did up to 15 homes. I wouldn't be able to do that. No, goodness. And my middle name is Rose. I am very partial to that name because it's mine. So you had to have heard that one. You had to have. Rose, where are you coming in from? Yeah, Karen, I want to know that too. Were you cleaning that many houses in one day or the week? You keep saying you didn't hear it, Nikki, but I don't trust you. You like Leroy. Leroy's a bad dog. Okay, what else, guys? If it gets quiet for too long, I'm going to tell ridiculous stories. No one wants that. Ramona Sue. Oh, that's such a cute name, Mona. Leroy is not the most perfect dog ever. I woke up this morning and he had chewed a Nerf ball into millions of tiny pieces. So that's fun. But he is such a sweet boy. He's so sweet. Okay. I am going to tell a story. Okay. I wanted to tell this in my last video, but it just didn't come up organically, but I was thinking about it. So when we moved, hey Meg, how are you? I'm really excited to see you. Coming in from Canada, which is, there's no other smaller places, it's just Canada. I actually am only assuming you're from Canada because of your flag, but you could be somewhere else. Where are you coming in from, babe? In 1 week. Okay. It's still overwhelming, but like better in a week than in 1 day. Okay, so when we were moving over from Portland, the Marshal Service, because we were moving, they gave us movers to move our stuff. And much like the military, they will come in and pack everything for you. So you don't really have to pack. Ontario, Canada. Okay, I thought so. I really did think so. So I came upstairs and they were packing up my bedroom. And I was like, oh no, this woman was packing the nightstand. And I went up to her, she hadn't started yet. And I was like, hey, you're just gonna tape the drawers shut, right? Like you're not gonna go through and wrap everything in the drawers. And she had the sweetest, kindest look on her face. Like she was so compassionate. And she was just like, it's okay. I'm gonna pack everything in there, but it's okay. And I was like, No. And I opened it and pulled out all of my husband's candy wrappers. I was like, I just didn't want you to see all these wrappers. And like, I'm just trying to throw away his hoard of Smarties wrappers that he eats right before he goes to bed. And she was just like, oh. And it was like the most uncomfortable misunderstanding and was so funny. Azerbaijan, did I say that right? Welcome. I'm so excited to see you, and that's so far away. It has got to be um middle of the night. I don't know. Time zones are hard. I like she and I like right after I saw her face, and I was like, I know what you were thinking, but it's my husband's candy shame that I'm trying to hide from you. It was incredibly funny. So anyways, when I was cleaning up my nightstands and like scooting things into the drawers, like it just brought that memory back to my forefront. And I was just like, yes, that story is amazing. I can't wait to put it in a video, but it just didn't come up. So I didn't say it. And he eats the Smarties, but he goes like this and like sucks them in. And I'm convinced he's going to choke to death. And I will not save him from that. Like he will deserve it because I have told him so many times, don't suck the food into your throat. You're going to die. And I feel like I'll just let it happen because I have warned him so many times. But also the wrappers are the loudest wrappers that have ever happened. And so like I'm trying to sleep in here. And so now he unwraps them in the kitchen and makes like a little pile and then eats them more quietly next to me. And oh God, yeah. So that was a fun little embarrassing thing. We are packing now and I make sure all of our quirks are packed well ahead of time. Lock that stuff in a gun safe. Like you have to pre-pack. You can't just let people, you say, merhaban. Meg, where are you moving to? Is it just to a different place in Ontario or somewhere completely different, somewhere wild? Oh, I can hear my ear cracking. Mehriban. Okay, I am 55. I'm raising my two granddaughters, 8 and 15. It's weird going through picking up toys and such again, but I love it. My house is lived in, never perfect, but it's mine and I love it. I love that for you, Jill. That's really amazing. And it's got to be hard to raise your grandkids again because you complete one cycle and then starting right back over. That has to be difficult, but kind of a blessing, because you get to have all of that joy again. And I do love having a lived-in home. Like I don't put that pressure on my kids. Like clearly we need to work on some baseline tidying, but with having special needs kids, like it really changes what you think your life is going to look like and where your priorities land. And so, a lot of my energy is it's simply not going to be placed in that zone. I miss my babies being babies. So do I miss my babies being babies so much. And my mom tells me grandbabies are even better than having your babies. Like it's even more fun. So I do have that to look forward to. I'm really excited about that part of life. So, and Sammy just told me she plans on being a mom, and that's really exciting because previously she said absolutely not. So, I mean, she's 13. She'll change her mind again soon or whatever, but I thought it was cute that she told me that. Karen, I can't wait for great babies. My kids are 25 and 21, so I hope soon. I hope soon for you too. People are having their babies so much later. I think my first, I was 29, and then my first two. And then with Calvin, I was 31. Hi, Cassandra. New viewer, loving your videos. When do you get my life in order? I have a new 3-month-old grandson. Grandbabies are the best. I want to smell your grandson so badly. Like, I want to smell him and then also maybe bite his thighs a little bit. So bring him to me so I can do that. And also congratulations. It's so exciting. Just babies are so amazing. Meg says, my oldest two now 32 and 31, and my youngest is 10. Oh my God. Talk about a spread. My oldest granddaughter is 11 months younger, and the newest is 4 months old. You have like all of it. You have the whole spread of I love that. That's amazing. Mona says, I have two granddaughters. One turned 18 next month and a 6-year-old. That's beautiful. And then Cindy, I just moved to Florida in November from Indiana. Crazy different, right? It's crazy different. And the rest of my family is up north except for my father and youngest sister. Isn't it weird when you move so far away from family? Everybody we have is West Coast. Sometimes my dad is in Florida, so I do get to see him more frequently than the rest. But it's my husband's texting me. He knows I'm live. I'm live, babe. Don't text me. Selfish man. There he goes. He ruined it. I have no idea what I was saying. He was texting me a picture of the cat laying on the puzzle. Cindy moved to Florida. That's what we were talking about. It's weird, right? That's the whole point of that was me saying it's weird living so far south when you lived up north and not being anywhere near family. Dad is in Michigan until September. All three of my kids are from the same father, and we've been married 33 years. Oh, I love that you've been married that so long. And also a little bitter. Like, I've only been married 15. I like to be the best at everything, and you're beating me. So, out of chat, Meg. Tired of it. I think that's amazing, though. I love that. I love people who've been together forever. It's so funny, isn't it? Like, it's so funny living your life that long with somebody is what I meant to say. Anyway, I'm having so much fun right now, you guys. I love this so much. Karen, I love puzzles. Just this week, I visited the Biltmore and saw Chahui. I got a Chahui puzzle. I have to Google that. I actually don't know what you're referencing. It sounds amazing. Cassandra's in Florida too. I'm so close to you guys. Ryan Hall, y'all, the weather guy, he says you guys are going to get a little bit of weather, so pay attention. I love your little sassy remarks throughout your video. Constantly crack me up. I am so glad you catch it. I think a few people don't understand that I'm just being sarcastic and silly, and they genuinely think I'm going to burn my house down, and I'm not. Like, but I might. No, I won't. Congrats, Mrs. Spur. We've been married 22 years. Nikki, I told you, you're not allowed to one-up me. Been with him for 24. Gross. So gross. I think that's amazing. And thank you guys for getting my sense of humor. I love that so much. Like, so the video that popped off, it's so funny because like if you research being a YouTuber and stuff, they'll say like the videos you put a lot of effort into, people don't really care about, but then like sometimes you'll just slap one together and it gets picked up like crazy. And so the clean with me that has like 75,000 views, like I slapped that together. I was just trying to get things done going throughout my life, and the end result isn't even a clean house, and I like shoved it out in the world. But I didn't realize that after going and sitting in the ER with my husband and being scared and not knowing and just having so much unknown really made me feel negative. And in my voiceover, like I watched the video again after I kept seeing people being like, why are you so negative? Why are you like this? And I'm like, no, I love my life and I'm so happy and I'm everything. But like I look back and I was like, oh Jesus, I was really in a bad place and it really pulled through in my voiceover. And so like I'm constantly in the comments being like, no, I love myself. I love myself so much and I love my life. I was grumpy. Like, I'm so sorry I was grumpy that day. And it was crazy. And so I am trying very hard to be conscious that if I'm going to do a voiceover or talk to you guys, like maybe don't do it after not getting any sleep and being overwhelmed with anxiety, because that just doesn't go across. Okay, going up. Okay. The garden calls. Okay, Meg. Do amazing work and grow all the vegetables. And I was really happy to see you. Thank you. And then Nikki, Mrs. Bird, does love gardening. She is quite good at it, and I am terrible at it. And Cindy says, my husband of 47 years passed away. Oh, Cindy, that breaks my heart for you, and I am so deeply sorry for your loss. I bet you it was startling, to say the least. I want to rephrase. Okay, so startling. Okay. I have been thinking about how my entire adult life has been with my husband. I met him when I was 20 and had the biggest crush on him. And thinking about living all of my adult life with him, always having him, thinking about not having him, honestly, the best way I can think of it is startling. Like, it would have to be, I don't know if the compassion is coming through on the word that I made, but it had to have been startling for you. And I am sorry for that. The beautiful glass blown sculptures. Okay, I'm gonna go up to North Carolina and go to the Biltmore and see those, because they sound really, really amazing. Okay. Hi, Michelle. How are you? Okay, gotta go. Bye, Rose. I hope you have such a beautiful day. I am behind, so hopefully you haven't left yet, but thank you so much for stopping in. Palmino Princess 143. I love your videos. Scotland. Oh my goodness. I love that. Welcome. I am so excited to have you here. Did you find anything with your husband? My husband is kidney failure and also taking care of his mother who's 70. Oh, good Lord. Cassandra, we know that he has kidney disease, only level 3 right now. And we're trying to manage that. His heart looks great. He had an MRI for his brain, and the follow-up for that is in June, which is amazing. And like, his lab work comes back that doesn't show symptoms of like cancer or anything like that. So it kind of feels like I don't know. It's like there's no real answer, and he's not under a lot of stress. And so it feels like at this point we're like, okay, are you making it up? Like, is this for attention? Like, are you not getting enough attention, my dear? And so we just don't get to know. And he's struggling with the idea of this just being how he feels, like his life feels like this now. And so we just don't really have any good answers. And we're just trying to like move forward like this and try to see what we can do and alternatives that maybe could make his life a little bit better. But thank God his heart looks great. We'll find out about his brain. Kidney disease is only stage 3. So, we're getting good news repeatedly, just no answers. My lip is like peeling right now. And so that's why I'm chewing on my lip. Sorry, guys. It's just, ugh. It does drive me crazy how they order tests and then you have to wait so long for the results. After we finish this, and everybody's in different zones, so nobody talks to each other. After this, we're just gonna consolidate and go to the Mayo Clinic in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. That way everybody can talk to each other and see each other's results, I suppose. Thank you so much, hon, for the prayers. But yeah, it's just, who knows? Thank you, Karen. I really do appreciate it. I will try to keep you guys posted. It's weird how much I'm talking about this with you guys, where hopefully it's not like too oversharey with y'all. It's just a big part of my life, so I'm talking about it now. Forgot about my test on Thursday. Oof. Your granddaughter rammed her car into your car. I hate that, Mona. That sucks. Thank you, Michelle, for the prayers. I really appreciate it. Okay, what else, you guys? I can feel that I wish my air conditioning was down a little bit more. It is getting warm in here. My husband feels horrible too. I hate that for you, Cassandra. Took a few months off from dialysis, goes to sleep feeling 90, wakes up feeling 80. Oof. That's crazy that you took a few months off from dialysis. Like, I didn't think you could not do it. I thought your fluids would swell up too much. She was in a hurry to get to school. I remember those days. I definitely ran my dad's car into a few more things than I ever admitted to. But that's his fault for having a car and letting me drive it, I guess. I remember I like ran it into the side of the garage, pulling it in, and I was just like, maybe he won't see that. I wasn't the best kid. Okay. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. I mean, in general, like, I am happy. Like, it's not so overwhelming. And like, now knowing that there's so much good information in the back, it's easier to be super positive about the outcome. So I am a good driver, Nikki. Just not initially. I had to practice. Although I was driving my huge RV, like it's really, really big. And I was feeling really confident. I was like, man, I am awesome at this. And I hit a curb so freaking hard, like cabinets open and things fell out. And I was like, okay, I need to humble myself a little bit and maybe not drive like this. And then so Mark is all like, oh, why are you so bad at driving the RV? And why'd you run into this like branch and stuff? And he drove it for the last trip and totally like brushed a huge tree. And I was like, oh, look at you running into a tree. And it was very validating. It's hard. I'm not making a good case for myself here. Listen, as long as my insurance company's not watching, it's fine. Yeah, let me talk, like, it was so overwhelming initially driving that. So it's a big class A. It's like driving a bus. And so I'm driving up the freeway. I'm going from Georgia to South Carolina. And it's just freeway. Like, it doesn't really do anything. It's just freeway. And I am like white knuckling it, terrified the whole time. And finally, after about, not the whole time, finally after about like 50 minutes, I was like, okay, yeah, you know what? I can do this. And like, I leaned back into my chair instead of being like upright and terrified. And kind of was like, oh, okay. And then like a massive accident happened right in front of me. And I was like, nope, right back to it. Can't handle it. And it was quite the initial drive. And actually, I managed to pull over and we went and checked on everybody, and like a fifth wheel had ripped off a truck onto another car, and then another car was over here in the ditch. Everybody was walking. I could not believe it. Nobody was really harmed, just their stuff was broken. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is going to be catastrophic. Like, this is going to be ugly and they're going to need help. And everybody was just like mad at each other, which was beautiful. It's hard to try being positive when we have so much unanswered tests, etc. Oh, learned in my cancer journey. Oh, babe. Positivity, laughter, God, of course, we can get through anything, and friends too. Michelle, that is really true and like such a deep thing. And I hope that your cancer journey is moving in a good direction, or possibly even kind of behind you, I hope. I would love to hear more about it if you feel like sharing, but if you don't, that's totally fine. I am a force. Thank you. I try to be a force for good, but if I can't, like, a force for evil is just as good. As long as I'm, accomplishing something. Oof, 3 ambulances? Oh my gosh. That is a huge accident. Kesha, honey, can you not dig back there? I don't know if you can see her. She is huffy. Come here, baby. Ugh. Here's my true love. I tried washing her face, so it doesn't look great. She's named after the pop singer Kesha because when I got her, she looked like the walk of shame home after a hard night out. It's just, she looked like it. And so I named her after that. 12th year being cancer free. Oh my God, I love that. Like, I really was scared we were going to go down like a dark journey with you, Michelle, and like it was going to suddenly become a really hard, sad thing, and is an amazing, glorious story. And I'm so grateful for that. I am really, really happy. I am definitely forcing my RV. Nikki, stop being mean to me. I didn't make you an admin so you could bully me online. So happy, Michelle. Okay, what else? We've been chatting for like an hour and I'm having so much fun. And I feel a lot calmer, less jittery, less anxiety doing this. It's on both sides of your family. That's so hard. I hate that for you. I don't bully you in text. That is slander, my dear. Stop slanderizing me. I'm gonna sue you. Sorry. What else? What a sweet potato story that she's still being a car engine. Sweet potato pie. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. So I was at Sam's Club. Okay, I want to like side quest really quick. I want to tell you a really funny story because the opportunity arose and it cracks me up so much. Okay, so at Sam's Club, you can scan items with your phone, and as you put them in the thing and then hit like swipe to pay and then leave, and you just show them your phone and they scan it and like scan the items, like 5 of them in your cart to make sure you're being honest, and you go along your way so you don't have to wait in line. And I took my son Calvin with me. And I was scanning the whole time, but he didn't catch on. He hadn't done it before. And we have this massive basket, like everything, right? And I go, oh, I don't feel like paying for this. Like, look at the line. I'm just going to leave. And he's like, Mom, please. And I was like, no, I mean, like, ugh, I'm not waiting to be checked out. This is stupid. Let's just go. And so, like, I'm leaving for the exit. And I feel bad. He was like, Mom, look, this line, it doesn't have that many people. Like, I'll wait in line if you need to. Like, you can go and please, can we just pay? And he was so worried. And then, like, I showed him that we paid, and he loved that he got pranked. He does love pranks. But he was just like, I love that poor little soul. He was like, please stop and pay. Please, Mom. So we load up our groceries after I torture my son just a little bit. And there are these 2 women looking in their car engine a little bit. And I thought that was weird. And they were slightly older, but not like so old that you're just like, oh my God, we have to find their keepers and take them back to the home. And they just kept looking. And then I saw a man come over and do something. And I don't know why it occurred to me to stop and talk to them, because what was I possibly going to do? Like, what car repair am I possibly capable of? Like, at best, I'd be like, wait here, I'll drive home, tell my husband that I feel like you have problems, and he'll come see you. Like, that's not rational. But I pulled over anyways, and I was like, ladies, what's wrong? And they're like, we heard a meow in the car engine. And I was like, oh my God, do you still hear it? And they're like, no, we found it. And it was in a like a reusable grocery bag. And they're like, we drove 90 minutes to get here. And like, we can't possibly have this cat. Do you want this cat? And I was like, absolutely, I do. love this for me because Sweet Potato was maybe 10 days old, maybe 12. Her eyes were open, but she was very, 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 very tiny. So young that I couldn't have possibly purchased her from like the pet store. So there's no way Mark could say no, right? Because like clearly I didn't buy the cat. I found the cat. And I, you know, not my fault that those ladies found it first and could technically have had possession of it. I took possession of it. And so I get home and he comes out to unload the car with my kids and I just have it. And he's like, what? I was like, the universe decided I needed this. Let's just foster it. He's used to me. So he buckled right away because I'm a force. How did they know it was in there? They heard it meowing. They heard the sound of the tiny kitten and like went digging for it and found her. I can't. I hope that the mama cat only put Sweet Potato in there. That's my deep hope, is that we think mama cat tucked her up in there for like a secure place to keep her kittens. I'm hoping it was only Sweet Potato because I can't stomach the idea of anything else because there weren't any other kittens in there. And then she was a very long way from our home. So we had to syringe feed her and I had to buy like special nipples off of Amazon, and she struggled learning how to eat initially, but then nailed it. And then when they're that young, you have to like rub their bums so that they go to the bathroom after you feed them, like immediately after you feed them. And so, I'm her mama. I'm her mama kitten. And Michelle, I just saw that you lost your older sister to cancer, and I am so sorry for that. That is heartbreaking. I'm always late to this. Hi, Sharon. How are you, my dear? Welcome. And let's see. I did rescue it, and I call her my universe kitten all the time, and she's hilarious, and I love her so much. Bye, Jill. Have fun cleaning your house. That is something I will not be doing today. And oh, thank you, Jill. I can't believe I have as many subscribers all of a sudden. Like I got like 1,000 this month, and that's crazy to me. And I am overwhelmingly blessed and excited about it. And it's amazing. It's crazy amazing. Jill is so sweet. Yeah, so that's the story of my stinking cat. Kesha I saw on Craigslist, and my husband was out of town, so I just got her. And surprise, almost all of my pets I have presented to my husband after the fact, and it's amazing. Poor guy. But he knew what he was getting into when he met me. All right, what else, you guys? As for forgiveness instead of permission, that's 100% our policy. You need to try it. Like, first you have to kind of like force them into accepting the fact that you are bonkers. It helps. Being mostly unhinged helps. If I win the lottery, I'd have a doggy farm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I honestly think that the twins will probably run a rescue of some sort when they're older. They like obsessively watch to the side of the road because they're convinced any box would have like a litter of something in there. And they desperately love the idea of rescuing things. Sweet Potato was perfect. They were so excited we rescued something, but I feel like that's what they want to do. And I'm 100% on board with it. They're going to be amazing at it. You need to catch up on laundry. I haven't done a single load of laundry. Been talking about it nonstop. Have not done any of it. Ugh, maybe I'll do laundry today. But I won't. Maybe I'll make the kids do their laundry today, and then I'll do my laundry tomorrow, and that will be fine. I am so excited on the next few videos that I'm going to be making. And my next video that I'm going to film tomorrow, so you'll see it on Wednesday. Wildly excited about it, but laundry doesn't really factor into it. So laundry Tuesday so that I can do my video on Monday. And then the twins room will probably pop out on Saturday or something like that. You really want to mop your floors? You've been talking about mopping your floors. I really feel like you need to do it. The name is great for the cat. I don't know what we name our cats after food. We have hot sauce, blackberry, and sweet potato. And we used to name our dogs after Disney because we had Beast, who was a Rottweiler, Beauty, the Rottweiler. Kesha was going to be Moana, but nobody went for it, so we named her Kesha. And then Leroy is actually Leroy Jenkins from like the online meme that my husband loves so much, and it really fits in. Michelle, I know your pain. I lost my sister when she was 26 in 2002. Sharon, I am so sorry to hear that. And mom died 7 years later. Ugh, that is a lot of loss, babe. I am so sorry to hear that. My laundry routine falls apart when school lets out. Wouldn't know. I homeschool my kids because I love them, Nikki. Joke for everybody else who sends their kids to public school. Welcome, Jane. Where's Jane? Hi, Jane. Oh, there you are. Welcome, Jane. Happy to see you. Oh, yeah, your granddaughter's like, I feel like the younger you are, the faster you go through clothes. It's crazy. There's just like constant them getting their clothes done. And have you noticed, like, when you're like, oh, kids, I washed their clothes, they're like immediately stripping and trying to change into the new outfit. And you're like, no, dude, no, put it away. Maybe you can wear it tomorrow. You don't have to wear it immediately. You're new here, welcome. Honestly, we haven't been a thing for very long. It's only been a couple months, so we're all pretty new here. I speak Portuguese. I do not, but I love that. I speak Chinese, but not very well anymore. I bet you if I went to China, I'd be really good at it though. Laundry do too. Everybody, you know what we should do for our next live? Just like everybody does their laundry and we can fold our laundry and talk and actually have that accomplished. But if I did that, you'd have to see my laundry room, which by the way, is not tidy, but it's not the worst. It's just not tidy right now. I washed all the extra things. Oh, I do. We have the twins' sheets are in the dryer right now. Yeah, next Sunday we'll all get our laundry together and that way we can fold it and hang out and it will be productive. But like in the olden day when everybody used to live in tribes and they'd get together and they would chit chat while they churned the butter or weaved the baskets. I'm out of town working my second job next weekend. Oh, babe, selfish. I have told you repeatedly to quit all of your jobs and full-time be my friend. Michelle, so sorry, Sharon. My mom passed away 8 months prior to my sister. Oh my gosh. Michelle, that's so much. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You are a very positive person though. I really can feel it. Like you're so kind and sweet and supportive in the comments. You're just very kind. Sharon too. Alice in Wonderland themed. Who's dressed as the White Rabbit? That's so cute. Oh my God. Can you guys post pictures? I would love to see a picture of that. That would be so, so cute. You do your 5:30 a.m.? I would never. Oh my God, 5:30? That's horrifying. That's way early. Oof, your English is not good. Babe, your English is good. Trust me, I can fully understand your sentences. You're doing great, babe. I love that. So many people who are like, oh, my English isn't good. And like, it's so much better than any other language would be. I'm just so proud of people when they pick up second languages. It's crazy. Yeah, 5:30 a.m. is not my vocabulary. I have a neighbor who was like, hey, let's meet and walk. And I was like, I would love that. And she's like, how's 6 a.m.? And I was like, pass, but thank you for the offer. Techie challenged. Same. Um, I'm telling you, okay, so remember when you were slightly younger and your parents needed help with something and you're just like, oh my God, I cannot believe that they don't understand this technology or whatever? The other day we were watching Netflix and I'm not kidding. I was like, Calvin, can you come put on the subtitles? I can't figure out how. And he comes in and he's like, sure, just go here, select here, do this and put it up. I was like, that happened so much sooner than I thought it would. Like, I thought I would be 70-ish and like my son would have to get my flying car going or something like that. But no, it was Netflix subtitles and I'm 42 and my poor 11-year-old had to come fix it. And it was so fast how he got it done too. It was wildly humiliating, but I had subtitles, so that was good. All right. I had to get up at 4 a.m. Oof, gross. To go to your daughter's at 5 a.m. No, make that's terrible. I would make everybody live under the same house. Just build a compound. Everybody lives in the compound. You don't have to wake up any earlier. Any sacrifice so you don't have to get up early is totally worth it. Oh, they're 5 and 6. Cute. We are old. It's so abrupt. Like, I thought I would be better. I thought I would have a handle on technology a little bit longer. My English isn't good, and I'm English. And living in England, I totally forgot that about you, Sharon. I actually knew that, and my brain completely dumped it. And from Yorkshire, so think Sean Bean, and that's how we talk, not the Queen's English. Love to tell you something, Sharon. You guys all sound the same to us. It's impossible to tell your accents apart. Nobody can. Actually, so when I was deployed to Iraq, I was deployed with the British Army, which is not just one diet, like one accent kind of thing. So we were all working together, and what they like to do in their spare time was everybody would line up and talk to me, and I would have to try to like pair who had the same accent as the other person. And I sucked at it, and they thought it was like crazy how bad I was at it. And I was like, you would literally just sound like Brits to me. Everybody sounds the same. You guys sound the same. And they'd be like, I'm not even from kind of the same region. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. It's so hard. Like, oh, I deeply apologize. And then another guy the guy I worked exactly next to, he had like a naughty calendar with Brit girls, and they would be from different areas, and he'd be like, oh, she looks like a Sussex girl or whatever. And I was like, I don't understand what that means. So like we would have tea. He would read me the joke of the day from his naughty British girl calendar. And then we would discuss why those girls were like that from their zone. And I wouldn't understand it. And then, oh my gosh, everybody would also say the C word all the time. And I kept being like, guys, American woman, like that's the worst word you can't say this word so casually. And they were just like, don't care. And they would just drop the C word every 10 seconds. And I kind of picked it up. And, when in Rome, say the C word, I guess. And so I like had to break that habit when I came back to America because, oh my God, you do not want to be the girl who casually drops that conversation. Anyways, I loved them deeply. Everybody sounded the exact same. Okay, let me see. It was extremely scary over there. And, I am grateful that I am for the things I have now. It has built in such a gratitude for what we have and what our lives look like. And I am blessed that I was able to have that as a reference point, I guess. So we have a Brit doctor here, so I've mastered my Brit accents. I bet he's the best doctor too. Brits sound so much smarter than we do. And I accidentally used my British with that doctor. That's amazing. Did he feel offended? That's so funny, Beth. I find it hard to tell American accents apart, to be fair. When I was in London, I asked for directions and the guy like hit me with the strongest Texas accent ever. And I was like, clearly I don't sound like that. But like maybe I did to him. Maybe we do all kind of blend together the same. She didn't miss a beat. I would have called you out so hard for that, Nikki. I'm like, are you mocking me? Yeah, all those guys were real gems and I love them and they were very funny. And yeah. Hi, Connie. Thank you for subscribing. I love that. I can't believe people are subscribing. It's so funny. I'm glad that doctor loves you, Nikki. So cute. Okay. Can I tell my other embarrassing story? Okay. So, in the vein of me telling these guys not to drop the C word because I was American and it really was a strong word for us, I was talking to one of the higher ranking guys of the British army that worked with us. Also foreign militaries, like their ranking system means nothing to me. So it's like so much more casual because you don't understand that they're much higher than you and that you shouldn't be casual with them. And we were a small group. Anyway, so we were sitting there and he was just like so full of energy and he was really playful that day. And so much of your day is like casual, if that makes sense. Like there are times where I think I was just reading the comics in the newspaper and talking to him. Not everything is this escalated thing. Like there's smaller portions of life throughout your day. And so we were in one of those smaller portions of life and he was in a really good mood and I was in a really good mood and I was reading comics and like he playfully came towards me and I said, "Don't get spunky on me." And his face dropped and he was just like, "What did you just say to me?" And I was like, "What did I just say to you? Like, what did I just say to you?" And he's like, "What does that word mean to you?" And I was like playful. Don't be so playful. Don't get so filled with like, and he's like, to me, basically said like, don't, oh God, there's no way of me being able to say this classy. He said like, don't ejaculate on me essentially. And I was like, and no, oh my God, no, I was so embarrassed. And he was so embarrassed. Like we couldn't interact for the rest of the day. It was the worst miscommunication of English slang versus American slang that has ever happened to me. It was absolutely horrifying. And yeah, and that memory is seared in my thought. I think about it sometimes when I'm falling asleep. I think, remember that horrifying moment when you embarrass yourself in front of the British Army? Okay, anyways, that was my embarrassing story. Oh my goodness. Good morning, Anna. You're new to the channel. Spunky, something very down. Oops. To us, it's like you could use it around small children. It's a very funny thing. Like puppies are often spunky. Oops. So I hate that. Oh my gosh. Now I have the embarrassment again. It's just gonna keep going. And that was like what? 20 years ago? Can't get past it. So you do that too, Michelle? Good. I'm glad that everybody can have this whole thing. It's like a universal thing where like you're falling asleep and you think about the horrifying thing you did 20 years ago. It's fun. Okay. Oh my God. We have been live for almost 80 minutes, which is almost an hour and a half, 10 minutes shy of it, but I can't do any other math in my head, which is good because I teach my kids math. So At least everybody's going to be an idiot. If you're ever in Yorkshire, don't say just is the same as spunky. Means the same thing over here too. We have a family member married to an Aussie now. We had to talk about the F-bomb. So many people just blurted out like crazy. Yes. We had very few Aussies. You know what's interesting is that the Australian army, like we didn't really interact with them because they were all so rude. Like they were just, and I don't think that they're rude people. I think Americans are overly friendly and kind of wild. Brits, we kind of blend with them a little bit better, but like the Aussies, you're just like, oh, you're kind of an asshole. I'm sorry. And they're not. I just think it's their demeanor was so much different than ours that we didn't interact with them that much, which probably made them feel worse. Probably made them a little bit grumpier and then they acted grumpy. Oops, self-fulfilling prophecy for those. But it was really interesting working with a bunch of different people. I loved that part. And we had some like American civilians with us too. And the American plumbers, okay, the plumbers there, they're contractors and they came over. And if you needed literally anything, that's who you asked. I managed to get like mattresses, steaks. Where do they get the steaks from, guys? Like, why do the plumbers have access to steak? All of those things, like that's who you asked for them. Like they were the guys who got things. It was amazing. But our Aussie is adorable and I love to listen to them. Right? I do love their voices. They're so good. I want to go to New Zealand too, Nikki. I have a friend out there actually. And I really want to go there and see him and then like do a hostile takeover from a billionaire's bomb shelter because that's where they're building them all. I really want one of those. And the only way I'm going to get it is by force. I'm not going to be able to fund myself into that. It is nice to be able to travel, Connie. I love it. I love seeing everything. Like we live in such a beautiful world. I live in such a crazy, amazing country, but we live in such a pretty world. It's so amazing when you get to see different areas and the difference on it. Let's go road trip. I love road trips. We should. Yeah, and the more of us who go to New Zealand, like the stronger our army and the better we will do overtaking the billionaire's bomb shelter. We just have to research which one we want because we don't want like a crappy billionaire bomb shelter. We have to find like the best one and build like a really solid plan. And I think we can accomplish this. Probably Zuckerberg's. Seems like he'd have the worst security. I mean, look at Facebook. I love that. Must have good, I'm sure, right? It's probably the best. Okay, guys, I feel like we should wrap this up. I don't know. It feels like I don't want to take too much of your Sundays up. It's like the one relaxing day. I had a lot of fun doing this. I really did. And I loved being able to talk with you guys. It's so awesome. Like getting to know you guys better and having real-time conversations is really what I wanted. It's a little hard because I have to pause and read. Sorry, guys. But I really loved hanging out with all of you. It was so much fun. I am so glad all of you guys are here. It was amazing. Not so much Nikki, she sucks, but the rest of you guys are amazing. I keep reading the comments like I'm like dragging my feet getting off. Anyways, I had so much fun with you guys today. I am actually going to get off. And I don't bully you. Stop. Everybody stop reading what Nikki says. She's a lying liar who lies. Anyways, I love you guys so much. And I hope to do a live again soon and talk to you guys like maybe next Sunday or the Sunday after or something like that. And a giant wasp is on my window. Oh my God. It's like one of those death hornets from 2020. I'm not going outside. I will be indoors. I'm going to do some laundry and I am never going outside. Jeez, that thing is huge. All right. I love you guys so much. Now just enjoy the awkward moment where I try to figure out how to end a live. It is a Mark problem. And that did, yeah.